I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. Let me tell you what I mean. To be an atheist, I would have to be able to look at all that is and conclude that all that I see, every life form, the harmonious symphony of life forms on Earth, from the smallest microorganism to the greatest mammals on Earth and every fish in the sea, a bird in the sky, that it all happened by accident, without design. I'd have to be able to look at a universe and all that is in it and say that it started itself. I don't have that kind of faith. I would have to have the faith that there was this big explosion way back when, and instead of just creating a mess, somehow it created this beautiful, orderly universe which operates under very elegant laws of physics. And somehow I would have to believe that all that happened by itself, and then this little planet came to be by itself, and life came from non-living matter. Now that is called spontaneous generation, and that was disproven somewhere during the Dark Ages or so. Spontaneous generation, life coming from non-living matter. It doesn't happen. Life only and always comes from life. We know that. In fact, with all of the collective intelligence and efforts of all scientists on Earth in all time, we've never even been able to create a single living cell. A little amoeba or something. They can copy them. They can't make one. So if I were an atheist, I would have to believe that not only life started by itself, but then that life, through no design or plan or purpose, but only through random mutations, developed into every single life form and all the complexity thereof on this planet. I don't have enough faith to believe that. First of all, genetic mutations are very rare to start with. When genetic mutations do happen, most of the time they're not beneficial, they're actually harmful. So every now and then there would be a random genetic mutation, supposedly, and those random mutations, without plan, without design, without purpose, would then be responsible for every life form on Earth. Now, I just want to make it clear too that within the DNA of every cell, of every living organism, is about 500 encyclopedias worth of sequentially arranged genetic code, sort of a computer code, only far more complex, the most concentrated and complex information we've found in the universe in every living cell. So in the human body there's about 100 trillion cells. Every one has 500 or so encyclopedias worth of sequentially arranged information, like the information in a book. It's like a manual, it's a building manual, the blueprint for that cell. The brain processes about 300 billion bits of information per second as it serves as command central of these 100 trillion cells. 300 billion bits of information per second. And I'm to believe, as an atheist, that such complexity occurred without design, without plan, without foresight, through random mutations, genetic errors. I'm to believe that somehow bats developed sonar, something we only learned, I don't know, what, 60, 70 years ago or so, that somehow bats developed sonar. Sonar of such finely tuned degree that hundreds of thousands of bats can fly around at the entrance of a cave and each recognize their own sonar and not be confused and not run into each other. How crazy is that? Complexity even in little insects. Bees, that their whole hive works as a community and every bee knows its part to play. Who taught them that? Birds that migrate using quantum entanglement fields in their eyes so they can see the magnetic field of the Earth. Oh my gosh, we're just starting to figure out quantum entanglement. And the list goes on and on. A little beetle, the bombardier beetle, has two compartments in its abdomen, one of which holds hydrogen peroxide. I don't know where it developed that. And the other one holds hydroquinone. And these two chemicals stored separately, when the beetle is threatened by some sort of predator, they go into this third little explosion chamber, which has a special lining, where the two chemicals are mixed together and a catalyst is added and a little explosion occurs, and the explosion comes out of two little tailpipes out of the beetle's back end into the face of the predator. And by the way, this tail can be turned at 360 degrees. The burst of the chemical comes out 500 times per second. So in order to be an atheist, in reality, I pretty much have to check my brain at the door and enter into this world with my eyes closed and my ears stopped up and saying la 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 to avoid hearing from the God who is. Because all creation speaks. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they display knowledge. There is no voice or language where their speech is not heard. You have no excuse if you deny this Creator. I'm just scratching the surface.
Jesus, precious Jesus, you're my Lord.